Hi, this is part 3 of how to do the sort of dark and moody field of flowers. Before I start, just a thing of I found these great big ceramic tubs in a charity shop, 3 for £1. They're absolutely brilliant. I also have this ceramic egg holder, which are just perfect for mixing colours in. So I just wanted to talk you through the colours that I use, the main ones, and how I mix them. So let's start. First things first is I always have a blob. Is this showing up? Yep. I always have a blob of the main colour in the middle. So this green here is the raw sienna, and I mix around the edge some indigo, and that makes it a nice sort of dirty brown colour. So if I use the water on the edge, first of all it's lighter, it's thinner. I can pick up from the middle and it's instantly darker, but it's all of the same kind of hue. Same again, it's the blue is good old Payne's grey mixed with indigo. I have the looser colour around the edge in the water, and then I have the more concentrate in the middle. And then finally, we have the pinks that I use. So very loose on the outside, concentrate in the middle. And the pink is, where is it? Rose hue, and again, the indigo. I like to mix all of them with the same indigo, and that just makes sure they're all the same tone. And I occasionally, in the pink, will add a little bit of white, just to give it a bit of depth to it, rather than just using a thin amount of paint. Right, so here we go. So we've penciled it, we've inked it, we've masking fluided it, and now all that's dry and it's ready to go. Always have, let me just see if this has come up. Yep, always have some kind of card or paper that is the same as the card or paper that you're using on, to just test your colours first of all. I have loads of them that I use. This is by the palette of colours, and I just use pictures that haven't worked out, and I just chop them up and use them to test my colours on. Right, so let's get to painting. Now on the much bigger picture in my post earlier, I spent a long time wetting the paper with this to get the desired effect, and all you do is you just squidge it on like that. This one, because it's such a tiny picture, you could just use a big brush and just wet the page. You don't have to have a spritzer. I find it easier. I use this lovely chunky brush. I wet it first, and all I'm going to do is go around the edge. These pots showing up. Let me just move you up a little bit. Oh, it's high tech, this, isn't it? For now, I'll leave you like that for now. So, the blue, nothing amazingly difficult. Just start from light to dark. It's easier to make things, it's easy to make things lighter. So it's easier to make things darker when you've started off light. If you start off really dark, it just doesn't work sometimes. I'm just going to add into my black a little bit of the ultramarine colour, just to lift it a little bit on this bit. Again, I've added it to this part of the dish. I haven't mixed it in here. I've just used that little bit, and I can just keep going back there and picking up that slightly, probably doesn't even show up on the video, but it's just got this a lighter. And I'm not using strokes, I'm using dabs, and that gives the lovely loose edge. I'm not sticking directly, I'm not sort of painting in a line, I'm just blobbing it basically on here. Now I will need to do further up, so let's bring in my water here, and all I'm going to do is wet those edges, and we will be going in more as the paint dries, with more here and more here. So that's okay for now. Let's go in with the green. Let's lift a bit of green up. Oops. And again, just go around the edges. Sorry, that was me pulling my tape off. I like to go along the edge, the end of the, where it meets the sky. I do that first, because as the blue paint dries, I like it to blend with it just a little bit, not too much. And here you can pretend that there's trees or bushes, or you can just put any shape in there at all. And then we come down here with it. I'm just going to add a bit more of the green, just to make it a little bit brighter here. And just keep going along. So I'll do the same as last time. I'll finish this side off the video, just to make the video a bit shorter. So the trick is where your plants are or where your objects are. Not on all of them, but just on some of them. Just make that edge darker where it meets the purple, and it will. Let's check that. It just helps to bring out the picture. It really makes it pop when you've taken the when you take the fluid off. It's hard to see it against the purple, but it does really work. Like this. Again, it's not a hard edge I'm putting on it, it's a lovely soft edge of quite a strong pigment. I'm going straight in with the Payne's Grey here. And it's all about being patient now, and we just let it move, let the colour flow. Let it do what it's doing, except for this bit here. That will look dreadful when it dries. And that. And that. So we just dab it away. Dabby dab. So, I'm just softening that line up there. Soften it as we go. Going in with some more green. Here. So I want that green to be a little bit darker. So I'm just mixing in just a bit. Just touch of brown. Try it again. And that's lovely, it just makes it darker. I call them muddy pastels. That's my name for them. And they're just sort of, it's just where I've used brown to mix a darker colour rather than using black or one of the blacks. And it just gives it a bit more of a, it's just different, isn't it? It's something different to do. And never worry about picking paint back up off here as well. With watercolour, you quite often don't need lots and lots of paint. These pots have been on the go for months now, and I just keep adding little bits to them as they run out. So I've just mixed the green and the brown on there. and just go in and oops, don't worry if you actually go on, I always forget, don't worry if you go on the actual white of the flower. It doesn't matter if there's a little bit on there. So this is starting to look like it should. Before I go though, I'm just going to carry on by myself. I'm just going to add a bit more of just the pure Payne's Grey with a little bit of water. Just in this side here. I want it to go darker to sort of a little bit lighter in the middle. So just putting stronger pigments on here. You can see how I'm now building it up to become that sort of more of a, somebody described it in the comments on the other picture, like a moody picture. And I quite like that. And because this paint's had a little bit time to dry off because I was doing this side, it doesn't spread as much now, which is good. Again, I'm not just going to go around the whole outside of the flowers. I want it to mix and sort its own thing out. Just keep an eye open. This is because I haven't soaked the paper. I haven't pre-soaked the paper and stretched it. But it will be fine. Once this is dry, finished and dry, I will pop a clean piece of paper over it, pop some books on top, and it'll just flatten out wonderfully. Although, don't take my word for it. If you want to soak your paper, by all means soak your paper. I'm just adding a bit more of that indigo into here. Test it. A bit more green. That's better. And like I say, just layering up the colours. Start with lighter and get darker as you go. Move that over there a little bit. If you don't have, I know there's a technical name, but if I call them splodgy, if you don't have one of these big water soaking brushes, one of these is just as good. Or any thick brush really is fine. I just like this one because it holds more water and more paint and just gets the colour across quicker. Right, I'm going to switch it off there, finish this this side, and then I'll come back. Thank you, bye-bye.